The quiet janitor's truth. The golden elevator door slid open with a soft whisper, revealing the 42nd floor of Sterling Tower. Marcus Williams stepped out quietly, his cleaning cart wheels rolling smoothly across the polished marble floor. The executive lounge stretched before him like a palace of glass and leather, with floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing the glittering city lights below. It was nearly 8 in the evening. Most of the executives had gone home to their families, leaving behind empty coffee cups and scattered documents. Marcus preferred it this way. The silence allowed him to work in peace, methodically cleaning each surface until it gleamed. He had been the night janitor at Sterling Corporation for 3 years now. 3 years of quiet nights, steady work, and a paycheck that helped him make ends meet. The other employees barely noticed him. He was just part of the building's routine, like the hum of the air conditioning or the soft glow of the emergency exit signs. Marcus moved through the lounge with practiced efficiency. He emptied trash bins, wiped down the mahogany conference table, and carefully arranged the leather chairs. His movements were deliberate and respectful. This wasn't just any office building to him. It held memories that ran deeper than his employment contract. As he polished the glass coffee table, Marcus paused to look at his reflection. His work uniform was clean and pressed, his graying beard neatly trimmed. At 45 he carried himself with quiet dignity, despite the challenges life had thrown his way. His eyes, though tired from long hours, held a warmth that spoke of deep love and unwavering determination. The sound of heels clicking against marble broke the evening silence. Marcus looked up to see Victoria Sterling herself walking briskly toward the lounge. The CEO of Sterling Corporation commanded attention wherever she went. Her blonde hair was perfectly styled, and her white business suit looked like it cost more than Marcus earned in 2 months. She moved with the confidence of someone who had never been told no. Behind her walked a man in a dark shirt with a name tag. Marcus recognized him as one of the building's security guards. And between them, looking small and uncertain, was a little girl with brown hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. She clutched a worn teddy bear against her chest, her eyes wide as she took in the luxurious surroundings. Victoria's voice cut through the air like ice. "I don't understand how this happened. How did a child get past security and make it to the executive floor?" The security guard shifted uncomfortably. "She said she was looking for her father, ma'am. She seemed to know her way around the building pretty well." "That's impossible," Victoria snapped. "No employee's children should be wandering these halls unattended." Her sharp gaze landed on Marcus, who had stopped cleaning and was watching the scene unfold. Her eyes narrowed as she took in his janitor's uniform and cleaning cart. "You," she said, pointing directly at him. "You don't belong here." The words hung in the air like a challenge. Marcus felt his chest tighten, but he remained calm. He had heard variations of this sentiment before, spoken in different ways by different people. Usually, he let such comments slide off him like water off glass. But tonight was different. Tonight his daughter was watching. Victoria continued, her voice growing louder. "This is an executive floor. It's for important business meetings and high-level decisions. You have no right to be up here during business hours, and you certainly shouldn't be bringing your family to work." The little girl took a small step forward, still holding her teddy bear. Her voice was soft but clear. "He's my daddy." Marcus felt his heart swell with pride and ache with protective love all at once. He set down his cleaning cloth and walked slowly toward his daughter. "Hello, sweetheart," he said gently. "What are you doing here?" "I finished my homework early," she said, looking up at him with trusting eyes. "Mrs. Peterson from next door said she could walk me over. I wanted to surprise you." Victoria looked from Marcus to the child and back again, confusion replacing her initial anger. "I don't understand. You're saying this janitor is your father?" The little girl nodded solemnly. "Daddy works really hard. He cleans the whole building so it stays pretty for everyone." Marcus knelt down to his daughter's level, ignoring Victoria's stare. "Emma, you know you're supposed to wait for me at home. Mrs. Peterson shouldn't have brought you here without calling me first." "I know," Emma said, her lower lip trembling slightly. "But I missed you. You've been working so many late nights and I wanted to see where you work." Victoria's expression had changed. The sharp edges of her anger were softening into something that looked almost like confusion, or perhaps recognition. She studied Marcus more carefully, taking in the gentle way he spoke to his daughter, the obvious love between them. "Your name," she said suddenly. "What's your name?" Marcus stood slowly, keeping one hand on Emma's shoulder. "Marcus Williams." The color drained from Victoria's face. She stared at him for a long moment, and Marcus could see the wheels turning in her mind. Recognition dawned in her eyes like sunrise breaking through clouds. "Williams," she whispered. "Marcus Williams. You were David Williams' partner." Marcus nodded quietly. "David Sterling, your late husband." "Yes, I was his business partner for 8 years." The security guard looked confused, glancing between his boss and the janitor. Emma looked up at her father with curious eyes, sensing that something important was happening but not understanding what. Victoria's voice was barely audible. "You founded this company together, Sterling and Williams Consulting, before it became Sterling Corporation, before David got sick." Marcus said simply. Before the medical bills. Before I had to sell my shares to pay for his treatment and take care of my family. The silence that followed was heavy with unspoken history. Victoria's carefully composed facade was cracking, revealing glimpses of the grief and guilt she had carried for years. I looked for you, she said, her voice shaking slightly. After David died, I wanted to make things right. But you had disappeared. Marcus's voice remained steady and calm. I took whatever work I could find. Emma needed stability. This job gave us that. Victoria looked down at Emma, who was watching the adults with the patient wisdom that children sometimes possess. How old is she? 7, Marcus said. She never got to meet David, but I've told her stories about him, about how he dreamed of building something that would help people. Emma tugged on Marcus's sleeve. Daddy, is this the lady from the pictures? The one Uncle David married? Marcus smiled sadly. Yes, sweetheart, this is Mrs. Sterling. Victoria knelt down, bringing herself to Emma's eye level. Her voice was gentler now, almost tender. Your daddy and Uncle David were best friends. They built something beautiful together. Emma nodded seriously. Daddy says Uncle David was really smart and really kind. He was, Victoria whispered, tears forming in her eyes. Just like your daddy. Marcus watched this exchange with a mixture of hope and caution. The wounds of the past ran deep, but perhaps there was still time for healing. Victoria stood slowly, her composure returning, but her demeanor completely changed. Marcus, I owe you an apology, not just for tonight, but for everything. You belong here more than anyone. She paused, looking around the executive lounge that bore her name but had been built on dreams that belonged to two friends. Would you consider coming to my office tomorrow during regular business hours this time? I think it's time we talked about the future of Sterling Corporation. About what David would have wanted. Marcus considered her words carefully. Emma comes first. She always will. I wouldn't have it any other way, Victoria said. David always said that family was the foundation of everything worth building. Emma looked up at her father with bright eyes. Does this mean you won't have to work at night anymore? Marcus knelt down and pulled his daughter into a gentle hug. We'll see, sweetheart, but whatever happens, we'll face it together. As the elevator doors closed behind them, taking the small family back down to ground level, Victoria stood alone in the executive lounge. The city lights sparkled beyond the windows, but her attention was focused on the reflection in the glass. A reflection that showed not just her own image, but the ghost of possibilities finally given a chance to become real. Sometimes, the people who belong somewhere most are the ones who seem to belong there least. And sometimes, it takes a child's simple truth to reveal what adults have forgotten. That worth isn't measured by the floor you work on, but by the love you carry and the integrity with which you live your life.